This video is a summary of my graduation thesis. This video will give an overview of my journey in the Game Terakoya. Here are the major steps in and outside of the Game Terakoya. And here are the various ways that I developed through those steps. For more detail, please read my thesis. Before I begin my presentation, I will first ask you a few questions. How many do you answer yes to? Are you interested in many things, not just one? Do you want to change yourself? Do you want to try something new? Do you feel that the society around you is changing? Do you have your own ideas about today's society? Did you answer yes to 5, 3, 1? If even one of these applies to you, you are ready to be a Renaissance person today. What is a Renaissance person? That's a great question to answer first. According to Simple English Wikipedia, it means a very clever person who is good at many different things. I came across this word in my reading project in the Game Terakoya. How did I come across this word? Before working on the reading project, I had a research project. I focused on environmental problems. My personal goal was to be a well-cultured person. To me, it means having knowledge of problems in the world, and I came up with environmental problems first. I thought I had to learn what we could do for environmental problems. As a research project, I went to the beach, river, grocery store, and my neighborhood and looked for environmental problems. I counted how much garbage there was on the beach and the riverbed of Oigawa, looked for the causes of issues in the grocery store, and collected data. From this project, I learned the factors of environmental problems around me. Because I had an opportunity for a research project, I was able to learn this. I found that examining my neighborhood and learning new things is important. However, when thinking of the reading project, I was not sure if I wanted to keep narrowing it down. When I reflected on my interests, I was not only interested in environmental problems, but also I was curious about learning English, French, foreign cultures, and design. I wanted to learn more about these things. I was struggling with the reading project and participatory project. When I talked about this feeling to Professor Dihan, he taught me the word Renaissance person. I recognized that I wanted to be one. I took a break from the University of Shizuoka in 2022 and I studied in Canada. During my stay in Vancouver, there were a lot of events. I joined most of them, such as the Pride Parade, Latin Festival, Canada Day Festival, and firework competition. I experienced not only Canadian cultures, but also international cultures, such as Latin, Chinese, Spanish, Korean, and Japanese. I really felt multiculturalism. At the same time, my participation in the events provided a glimpse into social issues, such as environmental problems and gender issues. After coming back to Japan, I worked on my participatory project. Following the reading project, I decided to do a project about being a Renaissance person. My goal was, and continues to become a Renaissance person, so I wanted to act as one in the project. I organized a community-like event called Renaissance Life with Keikamu Abroad. The objective is to deepen participants and my learning, to get interested in new fields, and to learn new things. That is connected to becoming a Renaissance person. We prepared 2 types of content. One was playing English games as icebreaking. It would make participants learn new vocabulary or phrases and reflect on their English. The other content was a different workshop with different themes in each event. Participants and I shared what we experienced and understood. By sharing them, participants could get feedback from others and hear other participants' experiences. After that, participants made a concept map to organize what they shared and learned. Then, based on what they talked about, they discussed more academic topics. We prepared 5 to 6 academic topics to share, such as language, education, environmental problems, social media, and B2B business. Those events, and even more that I don't have time to mention today, have changed me a lot in many ways. In this video, I'll share my 4 big changes. The changes are divided into knowledge and skills, and emotion. As for knowledge and skills, I had two big changes. One is participating actively. My active participating skill improved from 3 to 5 out of 6. I analyzed this by comparing pre- and post materials. Since I worked on the reading project, I have been wanting to be a Renaissance person. In order to be one, I experienced things actively in Canada. As proof, I have pictures of a lot of events that I participated in. For example, I joined the Pride Parade in Vancouver, firework competition, Halloween event, Thanksgiving Day party, ice hockey game, and the Christmas market. Next one is learning with experience. Before the Game Terakoya, I used to learn with textbooks, books, YouTube, and films. Over the past 2 years, I did a lot of things that improved my learning skill with experience. In Canada, I experienced a lot of new things such as attending events, trying new foods, traveling, and watching sports games. In particular, I tried a vegan menu in a vegan restaurant. It was my first time trying a vegan menu. I learned that vegan menus are really common in Canada. Almost all restaurants in Vancouver have marks on the menu for vegans and vegetarians. A lot of people enjoy vegan or vegetarian food in vegan restaurants. I learned that a vegetarian diet made me full because the portion size was bigger than other non-vegan restaurants. I also talked about veganism with my housemate who was trying the vegan lifestyle. She was satisfied with her changes physically and mentally. She was motivated to live healthily. I was able to learn what I could not learn in textbooks by actually experiencing it. Now I am better at learning with experience. When I learned with textbooks, I used to hate learning. However, since I wanted to be a Renaissance person and learned through experiences, learning has become interesting. In terms of emotions, I had two big changes. The first one is being confident. Before the Game Terakoya, I was not confident to try new things. I was shy in front of people as well. I could not go outside of my comfort zone, so before studying abroad, I didn't participate a lot in workshops or fieldwork in Kendai. But, over these past 2 years, I did a lot of things that improved my confidence. As an example of how my confidence changed, while studying at an English language school in Canada, I initially hesitated to share my opinions in the class at first because I was afraid of making mistakes and I was shy. Therefore, the evaluation of my participation in class from my teacher was 3 out of 5. Next month, I tried to share my ideas even though I made mistakes. Other students were not afraid of sharing opinions in class. They shared opinions the same as when chatting with friends outside class. They looked cool and I tried my best to share my opinions as many times as possible. Then, I got 5 out of 5 for the evaluation of my participation in class and my teacher praised my attitude. These increasingly gave me confidence. After entering college, I had more opportunities to share my ideas and do presentations in front of more than 40 students. Gradually, I was getting used to talking in front of people. One of the comments of the presentations from my instructor was a compliment. That also gave me a lot of confidence. After coming back from Canada, I felt more confident to talk in front of people and try new things. In my participatory project, Renaissance Life, I played the role of MC while I had never tried before studying abroad. I was always in the backup position. It was almost my first time to be a MC and talk in front of people at the event. Once I played the MC and participants saw me nodding or smiling, I felt completely confident to talk in front of people and talk to people actively when they worked on the workshop. At the end of the Game Terakoya, I felt more confident. The next way I changed was becoming more curious. My curiosity changed from 3 to 6 out of 6. I analyzed this by comparing pre- and post materials. In my pre-materials, I wrote that if things were my interest, preference, or new for me, I was very curious. At the end of the Game Terakoya, more than ever, I have become curious about many things, regardless of my own interests and preferences. In the reading project, I wrote about Renaissance person. And as a participatory project, I was supposed to keep a diary and write down what I experienced and thought, and then do blogging as the applying stage in order to tell society what I experienced, understood, and analyzed, and to get feedback from other people. Therefore, for the experiencing stage, through studying in Canada, I experienced a lot of things as I mentioned before, and my eyes have been more open. One simple example that I worked on with curiosity was watching a movie. I felt that I was doing it for my own learning. When I got COVID in April 2022, I was bored. Even though I was in Canada, I felt that I was having a boring life and I wanted to have a meaningful one. My friends in Canada were learning something new at school or outside school. I was very frustrated that I couldn't do that. I wanted to learn something that I could even when I got COVID. Therefore, I watched movies while isolating myself in my room. I used to enjoy just watching movies, but at that time, I watched Cinderella on Amazon Prime, focusing on social aspects. I wrote down what I noticed while watching it. Even one film has a variety of social aspects as I show here. Now I am curious about various things, such as changing society and social problems. As for the curiosity for social problems, I wrote about it in detail in my thesis. There have been other changes in me besides the ones I have just introduced, but what I have introduced today are the most significant changes and also connected to other knowledge, skills, and emotions. To be a Renaissance person, I participated in a lot of events actively and learned a lot. By participating actively, I gained confidence and became more curious about various things, regardless of my interests. I think it is essential to be a Renaissance person and learn about many things that happen and change every day around the world in order to live happily. For those who have the passion to try many new things, my journey and data about my transformation is useful as an example to find how I tried many things because of my motivation and how I changed through the experiences. One limitation would be that this research is completely based on my experience. There is no certainty that others will learn or change as I have. I would be happy if you read my thesis in full. Feel free to contact me or Professor Dehan if you have any questions or comments. Here are the main references for this presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you live your best Renaissance person life, too.